Mexico City, home to over 21 million people, as many as 170 museums, some of the best street food in the world, and one of the cheapest metro systems on the planet. It's one of the largest and busiest cities in the world. In part one of our Mexico City adventure, we explored the historic center of the capital, where we climbed one of the safest skyscrapers in the world, found one of the best coffee spots in the city, and ended the day with a stunning sunset view at the Revolution Monument. Make sure to check it out if you're interested in the best places to visit around the historic center.
But in this video, we'll be showing you around the enormous Chapultepec Park in the center of the city, and finishing at the beautiful floating garden of Xochimilco in the south to round out our Mexico City travel guide. So it's day 2 exploring Mexico City, and today we're heading to Chapultepec Park, which is kind of the central park of Mexico City.
We just have a few other places that we want to visit first. It seems like every time we sit down to plan our days here in Mexico City, we just keep adding more and more things to our list.
There's so much to see and do here.
So we're starting our day here in Parque Mexico, which is a small park located probably only about 20 minutes from where we're staying, around the La Condesa area.
Yeah, it's really beautiful actually. I'm pretty surprised. A lot of people are out and about doing some exercises, walking dogs, enjoying a little bit of nature in this big city. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really, really peaceful here. Yeah, it's a good place to start our day, but we've got a lot to see, so we're gonna crack on and get going.
One iconic location we didn't manage to see during our first day exploring Mexico City was the Angel of Independence, which is a victory column built in 1910 that commemorates the centennial of the beginning of Mexico's War of Independence. The 36-meter high monument is topped with a statue of the Greek goddess Nike, and it's actually possible to climb to the top, although you have to get a permit to do so. So we have now entered Chapultepec Park, and probably the first and the best highlight of the entire park is Chapultepec Castle. So it sits on top of the hill and apparently offers some amazing views over the city. So very excited about that.
Yeah, so let's go check it out.
After spending a short time queuing to get in, we paid the 80 pesos entrance fee and made our way up to the castle. The views got better and better as we climbed higher, until eventually we entered the castle and began to explore.
The castle is one of only 2 royal palaces in North America and has served many purposes since it was built in the 1700s. It was the official residence of the emperors of the Second Mexican Empire, and then the official residence of the Mexican presidents until 1939, when it was turned into a museum. Today it's home to the National Museum of History, as well as offering some of the best views you can get out over Mexico City.
I would be up waiting for you if you had to leave. Real. Maybe we should hurry up and seal the deal. Oh, oh, I just wanna love you right. Oh, oh, love you till the end of time. I just wanna hold you for forever.
There really seems to be no end to the incredible viewpoints through this city. We've already been to the Torre Latinoamericana, the Revolution Monument, and the cafe overlooking the Palacio de Bellas Artes, and all were amazing. And we've now just come down from the castle as well, and it's again offered us a different perspective of the city.
If we were going to rate all these viewpoints, I think we discussed that we would put the castle viewpoint on the top. That Chapultepec Avenue view from the castle was absolutely amazing and very iconic.
So Chapultepec Park is so big that it's actually divided into 3 sections. We're in the first section now, which is by far the oldest and most visited section of the park and contains most of the main attractions, like the castle that we just went to, the zoo and the Museum of Anthropology, which we are on our way to right now. The National Museum of Anthropology is the largest and most visited museum in Mexico and contains many artifacts from Mexico's pre-Columbian heritage. It is supposed to be a fascinating place to explore, and whilst we unfortunately didn't find the time on our visit, we thought it worth mentioning as it is a top thing to do when visiting Mexico City.
Okay, so we're just leaving the first section of Chapultepec Park. I think we really enjoy the park. It's big, it's really big. Sometimes we felt like we're in Central Park, especially around the lake area. You can even hire a paddle boat. You can do a lot here. You could spend a whole day here just exploring this one park, or this first section.
So we're going to head off towards the second section of the park now, but before we do get there, there are a few other quirky places just to the north of the first section of the park that we're really keen to check out and show you guys.
No guys, we didn't just wander our way back to the UK. This is in fact a metro station here in Mexico City dedicated to Great Britain. The station is called Auditorio and it is absolutely bonkers. We found the London Underground sign, red telephone boxes and many posters lining the walls filled with British memorabilia. There was even a poster of our beloved national park, the Peak District, where most of our earliest videos were filmed.
Mexico City seems to have a wide variety of these types of metro stations, as during our travels we also stumbled upon one with the night sky lit up on the roof, as well as space-related information boards along the walls, and a jungle-themed station. Let us know if you've discovered any more if you've ever travelled to Mexico City.
We then made the short walk from the metro station to a Cafebreria called El Pendulo. As the name suggests, a Cafebreria is essentially a mix between a cafe and a library, a place where you can get drinks and meals whilst browsing for your favorite books or getting some work done. This particular Cafebreria was one of the coolest we went to in Mexico and is definitely worth a quick stop on your itinerary.
So we are now in the second section of the park, which was created in 1964 and is not quite as developed as the first section and is mainly used for recreational activities, but it does contain a fountain called the Monumental Fountain, and there is a reason for it because it is the largest in Latin America, so we're definitely going to go and check that out. So the third section of the park is the newest and probably the least visited. It was only opened in 1974 and its main use now is as an ecological preserve. It's actually now designated a protected natural area.
Yeah, but we read online that apparently in 2010 there were reports that feral dogs were attacking people, so I think I'm gonna give it a miss. I mean, it's been a while, so it's probably not the case, but the sun is setting now. It's a beautiful sunset on this second section.
If you are in Mexico City, be sure to come and check out the first and second sections of this park because they are well worth a visit, and there is so much to do there. Like, you could easily spend days exploring these two areas.
So today we've come south and we'll be exploring a park called Xochimilco Ecological Park.
Yeah, and this park's a little different to some of the parks that we've explored up till this point because it's mostly made up of canals and waterways with a little bit of temperate forest as well. It was actually designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987 and is now one of the most visited locations in the city. And one of the most popular things to do here is to actually rent a boat called a trajineira and take it on a little cruise down the waterways, where we will hopefully see some pretty interesting attractions, including one place called the Island of Dead Dolls, which looks like a really unique location. So we're excited to go and check that out. You can rent a boat for different amounts of time depending on your budget and what you want to see. We went for the 2-hour ride, which cost us 1,000 pesos, and because we arrived early, we had the whole boat to ourselves. This was both a blessing and a curse. We really enjoyed having the privacy of our own boat, but on the other hand, it was pretty expensive as we had to pay the whole fee ourselves. The price is actually per boat, not per person, so if you come in a big group or group up with other travelers, then the price can come down quite a lot. After spotting plenty of wildlife on our way down the canal, we arrived at a small island where they had a little wildlife centre that we could check out for 10 pesos each. It was filled with all sorts of creatures, but by far the most interesting was the Axolotl, which is an amphibian that can only be found in the wild here in the canals of Xochimilco. Axolotls are critically endangered due to the expansion of Mexico City and the resulting water pollution. As well as looking like aliens from another planet, they also have the crazy ability to regenerate their limbs, gills, and parts of their eyes and brain.
We just finished our boat ride and it was a really good experience. Definitely something that I don't think either of us done. Definitely not together.
No.
So it was kind of the most romantic things we've ever done together, which is nice.
Yeah. So in the end, when we got there, it was very quiet. I was trying to ask the guy if we could join in with another group so it could be a bit cheaper. As soon as somebody gets there, they try to get you on a boat because obviously the more boats they can send out, the more money they're going to make. We saw the price for the Doll Island tour and it was about 2,000 pesos for both of us, which is about £75. Takes about 4 hours. We just figured that was just a little bit too pricey just for the two of us to pay. We couldn't really justify paying that amount. So in the end, we opted to just do a 2-hour ride, which didn't include the Doll Island, but was still a really, really beautiful ride. So if you want to do the Island of Dolls tour, it probably definitely is worthwhile doing, but you just probably should try and do it with a bigger group of people, maybe come with a group of friends or something, because on your own it can be very expensive. We've made our way across the town to the Coyoacan central area and we're just walking through Viveros Coyoacan Park at the moment. Coyoacan is known for its colonial architecture, its artisan cafes and art galleries, and it's also kept its sort of traditional look and feel as well. So you could say it has like a really cool Bohemian vibe, so we're excited to go check it out, maybe grab something to eat and definitely get a drink. So we're just leaving Coyoacan now and heading back home. Lots of mix of different experiences. really relaxing morning on the boats, and then really good time walking around Coyoacan Center. Kind of feels like you've stepped out of Mexico City.
It reminded us like some of these little villages and towns we visited around Guadalajara a couple of weeks ago. So,
yeah, definitely
yeah.
more traditional Mexican experience than the rest of Mexico City for sure. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to see more content from Mexico, and we will catch you on our next adventure here. Bye.